Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned seven-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started. All right, welcome back to the Published and Paid podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Womack, and in today's episode, I just want to take a quick moment to share with you about the evolution of published and paid. So I actually coined published and paid back in 2018, 2019, when I began to transition my membership that I had into focusing on business and focusing on authors. And so if you listen to previous episodes of this podcast, then you would have heard me share, just about my journey in business and how I eventually started a publishing business. And so what happened is that I had a publishing agency and I had hundreds of authors, and they did not know how to get paid from their books. They didn't know how to monetize their books. And so I began to transition out of personal growth and development because it really wasn't giving me the return that I wanted anyway. And I really began to really lock in on the publishing and the monetization. And I'm like, all of my clients are wondering how I was actually able to turn my book into more. And even people that already had books had seen me, they was just like, how can I do what you've done and enter published and paid? So this was not just about never was just about how to publish a book and get paid from it. When I coined published and paid, it actually started out as a membership, all right? It started out as a membership community for $99 a month, where we talked about marketing, where I went behind the scenes of my launch processes and mapping those out. We talked about speaking. So published and paid. And I don't really think that I did a great job of articulating what published and paid meant and what it was for. But published and paid was never about publishing a book and get paid from it. It was always about publishing your intellectual property and making money from it. Like, that's literally how it started as the published and paid membership that I had back in 2018, 2019. So we talk about publishing. Oftentimes people, their minds usually go to, oh, I'm going to publish a book. Well, you got to think about it this way. Whenever you write content and you put it online, you're publishing content. You literally have to press post, which is another word for publish. Even like an Instagram caption, a TikTok caption, it starts out as something written, right? Even if you're creating a reel or something, it starts out as an idea. You might write down the idea first. You're publishing content. When you write your book, you write your words where you're teaching your reader about a specific topic to help them get a solution. Then you package it, you brand it, and then you publish it for the world to read. You're publishing it. When you create a speech or a signature talk, usually it starts as an idea, you write down an outline or a script, and then you're publishing your talk is when you stand on stage to recite it, or it's when you sit in front of a camera like I'm doing now and you record it. And then you put it out there for the world to see. Publishing means, literally, let's look up the definition of publishing. I'm looking on my computer right here. Let's see, definition of publish. To publish means to prepare an issue for public sale, or distribution. It also means to communicate to a third party. So anytime you're putting something out for a public sale, anytime you're putting something out for distribution, anytime you're putting something out for viewership, you are publishing it. That's videos, that's content, that's speeches, that's talks. Yes, that's your book. Yes, that's your coaching program. Yes, that's your curriculum. Yes, that's your course. Yes, that's your digital product. So being published and paid is all about publishing your intellectual property. This is property that you create from your intellect, from your ideas, and then you put it out for public consumption. The goal is to help you package your ideas into systematic frameworks that can help someone else get a clear result and then helping you to get paid from it. That is what Published and Paid is about. That is what this podcast is about. So that's why very rarely do you hear me only talk about books on this podcast. If you've gone back to different episodes and even different guests, we've talked about some of everything. Yes, we talked about books, but we also talked about corporate contracts. We've talked about speaking. We've talked about digital products. We've talked about launches. We've talked about courses and coaching programs, because that is publishing and getting paid from it. So moving forward, I promise to do a much better job of really emphasizing what Published and Paid is. And please know that even if you flip it around, paid and published, I own the trademark on it, so don't try it, okay? Gotta say that for the charlatans out there, all right? You know who you are. And I want you to begin to expand your concept of your view of what being published means. It's not limited to your book. It's not limited to your thought leadership book. It is about putting your intellectual property into different formats, publishing it, and then getting paid from it. And of course, yes, we're going to make tons of impact while doing it. So guys, welcome to the Published and Paid podcast. We're talking everything intellectual property, publishing it, and getting paid from it. So I'm so excited that you are here with me on this journey. And remember, you have the opportunity to join the upcoming Monetize Your Book Challenge, where we're going to show you how to turn your current or future thought leadership book into a profit-producing machine. If you're watching the podcast, you can look in the show notes for the link. And you can also go to www.jasminewomack.com/monetize to grab your platinum ticket, especially if you want in the room on the spot coaching. And until next time, release your expertise, take the stage, get published, and get paid. I'll see you on the next episode. Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned 7-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started.